Although we don't know much about our expanding and potentially infinite universe, what we have found so far is a mix of awe-inspiring, terrifying, and downright weird. Here are the top 10 coolest things in space that you didn't know existed. 1. Scientists have found a planet that might be made of solid diamonds. In 2017, an international research team of astronomers discovered what may be a planet made of solid diamonds. Pulsars are tiny, dead neutron stars that are only around 12.4 miles, 20 kilometers, in diameter, and spin hundreds of times a second while emitting beams of radiation. This planet is paired with pulsar PSR J1700 and 191438, and scientists think it is entirely made of carbon so dense that it must be crystalline, meaning a large part of the world would be diamond. Incredibly, the planet orbits its star every 2 hours and 10 minutes, has slightly more mass than Jupiter, but is 20 times as dense, according to Reuters. 2. Thornzitco object. First is a Thornzitco object. These objects form when a pulsar worms its way into the body of a different star. Although these objects would appear to be almost normal, they would house all sorts of strange elements that would never appear in a regular star. The only one that we know of in the entire universe is called HV 2112. 3. The Fermi Bubbles. The Fermi Bubbles. In November 2010, the Fermi Gamma Ray Telescope discovered these strange bubbles. As you can see from the picture below, these bubbles emanate above and below the galaxy. If they were centered in the galaxy, then we could explain them, but these bubbles are tangent to the galaxy in an hourglass shape. These bubbles are enormous, taking up half the sky, and are almost 7 million degrees Fahrenheit. Scientists have reached a common expression on what has caused this. We have no idea. 4. The Pulsar Planet. Fourth is the Pulsar Planet. This planet, PSRB 1257 plus 12, is the only known planet to be orbiting a pulsar. Why is that so cool? When a pulsar forms, it explodes so powerfully that anything around it is turned to dust and blasted into deep space. We really have no clue how that planet got there. From the planet, looking at the star would be no bigger than a speck of dust, but would be 10 times brighter than our sun. 5. Eta Carinae. Number 5 is Eta Carinae and the Homunculus Nebula. Some things look weird. Other things have not so visually obvious strange traits, and others just have bad behavior. Eta Carinae has all three. This star has been dimming for decades, but then suddenly became bright again. In fact, it became so bright that it was also emitting as much light as a supernova, but instead of burning out, it kept on going. It used to be thought that it was the most massive star in the universe, but we now know that it is a pair of orbiting stars, both almost 100 times as big as the Sun. Apparently, this did not even form a regular shape, but instead a nebula that looks like a peanut. Number 6 is the Antennae galaxies. These galaxies are a living preview of our destruction. In 5 billion years, the Andromeda Galaxy will collide with our own galaxy. These antenna galaxies show exactly what will happen when our galaxies will collide. 7. Io. Number 7 is a little closer to home, the Jupiter and moon Io. This moon is so close to Jupiter that it is constantly crushed and reformed by Jupiter's enormous gravity. Although it is our moon's twin in size, it could not be more different. Volcanic eruptions constantly destroy the crust, while sulfur plumes turn the entire surface yellow. 8. There's also a planet that's made completely of ice, but it's on fire. Gliese 436 bits is a bit of a paradox. The faraway exoplanet is made mostly out of ice, but strangely this ice appears to be on fire. The surface of Gliese 436 bits is a searing 822 degrees Fahrenheit, 439 degrees Celsius. But the planet's icy landscape stays frozen due to the immense gravitational force exerted by the planet's core. This force keeps the ice much denser than the ice we're familiar with here on Earth, and is thought to even compress any water vapor that might evaporate. 9. Astronomers have discovered a rogue planet that drifts across the universe alone. The discovery of rogue planet CFB-DSIR 2149 in 2012 had the scientific community buzzing. That's because the planets we're most familiar with orbit a star. CFB-DSIR 2149, however, appears to be drifting across space without a star. The planet is about 7 times more massive than Jupiter. Astronomers think there are probably billions of rogue planets. In fact, they believe that they likely outnumber planets with suns. 10. There's a planet where it rains razor-sharp glass sideways. The pretty blue hue of exoplanet HD 189,733 bits conceals the planet's brutal environment. According to NASA, if you were to stroll on the surface of this world, you'd be subjected to winds of up to 5,400 miles per hour. That's about 7 times the speed of sound. Worse, the rain on this planet is thought to be made of jagged glass and to sweep sideways across the surface.